this is a video. So studio audience, you know, you're there. Plus sign. You can applaud if you want. This is just a really, I swear to God, it's going to be a quick video. I don't mean, that's not code for an hour. I swear it. Okay, I'm going to time myself under 10 minutes on this one. Okay, this is a really short one, but it's so important you watch it. Please watch this video. Please watch this video so you can avoid doing what I did. Don't be me. We're still talking languages. They were accusing me of being a spy. Long story short, you'll have to check in on us live to have that crazy conversation. Don't be me. I did this about a month ago, and I made a huge mistake. So if you're a VI user or you're anticipating being a Vim user, here's what you want. I'm going to cut right to the TLDR. All right. The TLDR is put this line in your Vimrc. And I mean like now, today. No, Emacs is not better. Don't you dare troll me. No, not going to bite. Not right now, people. Getting heckled. I'm getting heckled by the Emacs users. All right. So, drown them out, Vim people. Here, will you please take him out? I'll pull a Trump. Take that Emacs user out, please. Not really. Not really. I don't really mean that. Be nice to the Emacs user. He deserves our respect. All right. So, that's fake news. That's like I'm doing Obama, not a Trump. You know, Obama gets a heckler and he's like, treat him with respect. He's one of our veterans. And Trump's like, beat him the fuck up. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about fighting or Emacs or anything. I'm trying to save your life, people. And I really mean that. I'm trying to save your code's life. So pay attention. This line right here. Set Viminfo. I couldn't even tell you what all of these things mean, but I tell you what, they have saved me from a life of pain. And I had to look them up from somebody else. And frankly, before I did this video, I should have looked up what they mean. Oh well, you guys can figure it out and write it in the comments. But I will tell you this. It has to do with how many lines that your Viminfo can save. So this is what happens, okay? If you don't have that line, I found out the hard way that the maximum number of lines is something around 200, okay? So otherwise, you can really cool stuff like this. So let's say, I'm going to give you a sense of this. Okay, so I have a temp foo file, of course. Whoops. Temp foo file here. All right, here's my foo file. And I got a few lines in there. Echo good, but that was me testing a ternary, which doesn't exist. I was just playing around. So echo, hello world, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? All right, so this is totally fine. It runs, etc. I mean, there's nothing fancy there. Or does it? Maybe it doesn't. What just happened? Oh, I'm really stupid today. Okay, here we go. So I got this temp foo file. It's running here. Now I want to copy that file and put it in another file. Obviously, I could just do comp temp foo to temp bar, which are the standard names, right? But let's just say I wanted to actually copy a few lines from the thing. So I don't know. Let's say, I don't know. I know. Let's go. I have a file called ISO timestamp. And I'm going to go grab this line from ISO timestamp, and I'm going to do YY to yank it. I'm going to go back over here, and I'm going to put it in temp foo. Paste, there's my date. So now when I run it, it just runs, it puts the date out, timestamp, okay? That process that I just did, where I copied a line using VI commands, /vim, whatever you want to call them. Again, so 2YY, I deleted those lines, paste here, right? Now I can open another file, temp bar, right? You guys probably know this, right? And I just take P and it pastes it between files, which is a Vim only thing, by the way. The way to do that, if you don't have that ability, is generally to write it out to a file. So if you're stuck with VI on like NVI on BSD or something, you can go up here and then send those two lines to a file, temp another, and then then you can like go into the other line and then do your regular :R, temp another, and you can import them that way. That will always work. It's a very reliable way to do that. That has nothing to do with Viminfo, which is what allows you to do the copying and pasting between files. Why is that line so important? So everything that I just did for you is to demonstrate that when you have this, I mean, that all worked very well because it was just a few files, blah, blah, blah. But if you don't have the proper number of files, I'm going back to the line file here. So if you and I did this actually. If you try to yank like more than 100, 200, 300 files, right? Lines, it will happily yank them. But in my case, I actually was, so this is the scenario. I was trying to refactor my blog. I had one blog that was really long that needed to be broken down into separate files. Okay. So I went to split it, and there's lots of ways to split. Don't tell me all the different ways I could have used to split. That's not the point. So I'd gotten used to being able to, split files by going into them and doing something like this, like D capital G, and it would split the whole thing off, take off 144 lines. But if I want to paste those back, they're all in my buffer. Now watch. If I go into another file, I can do P and it still pastes them there because Viminfo. But here's the rub. So if you have the default Viminfo, the number of lines that will be saved in your buffer to be transferred to the other file is finite, and it's probably less than the number of lines that you have to paste. And because you're doing a delete and then you're exiting the file and saving the file, and people can give me crap about that all they want, but that's pretty common. And then you open the other file and you go to paste and you paste a whole bunch in there. But unless you pay attention, you won't notice that it missed everything past that certain level in your buffer. And you'll be sad. You'll be very sad, because now what? Maybe you didn't have a commit. You're in the middle of refactoring a blog and you've done a whole bunch of refactoring already. You're not making like work commits every 2 seconds. You're constantly in and out of files. So, the reason you're doing that, the reason you're splitting it and deleting it like that is because you want to put it into another file. And so you're expecting to go put that in another file, and the other file's already been saved. And it's not like you committed it right before you did all the splitting. The whole point is you want to be fast while you're splitting your files up and making them smaller. And if your Viminfo is too small, you will lose data. And I did. I lost probably 100 lines. So, I eventually got them back. I had to do a git, I had to do a git pull and get the whole thing. And then I had to do all of my organization and chop all the files up all over again. And don't be me. That's the moral of the story. So just add this line. If you really want to know what it means, that's fine. I think this means that the maximum is 1,000 lines. If I have more than 1,000 lines in a file, I'm going to find something else to do with the file usually. I'm not going to do that. I believe this doesn't just affect Viminfo. I think this also affects, I don't know this for sure, but I think this also affects, what I want to say, buffers, just buffers in general. I don't use buffers. A lot of people love buffers. I'm not down on buffers. I just don't use them. And so that's the thing. If you want to avoid all of that and you want to do something that is VI, BSD, specific and allowed to do, just save out those files and those sections to other files under /temp, and then go and use your :R to pull them in. If you really don't want to do this method, and frankly, that was my main method for transferring and then deleting and splitting files for a very long time. And I finally gave in and adopted the Vim, cut and paste between files kind of thing, until that one time when I got really sad. And after that, I'm actually a little bit scared sometimes, even today. It's like, I still will prefer to use, like the csplit command, which if you know about it, or to, actually just, dump out that stuff to another file and split the files up that way. It's actually a little bit faster to do that. It's just the cut and paste from VI is kind of built into your muscle memory. So, give or take. Add Viminfo, be happy. The end. Goodbye.